Well, here to help us understand the results of last night's German election is award-winning author and journalist Tuvia Tenenbom and his wife, journalist Isy Tenenbom. Thank you both so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
So, a lot has been happening in Germany, to say the least. How do you think the Jewish community, is feeling after seeing so much success with this party?
I think it's divided into two. One is the official, the Jewish leaders, or the Yiddish Gemeinde, the head of the Yiddish Gemeinde, or the head of some rabbis who say whatever they say, and they are of course very much against the AfD. But then you have the masses of the people, the Jewish community, which is mostly Russian, about 90% Russian Jewish.
Right.
And from the people I met, they loved the AfD. They actually liked it.
That's very interesting because there's a very unique intersectionality in this kind of idea of anti-Islam and anti-immigration, right?
It's anti-Islam, it's anti-immigration, and the AfD. I mean, if you really want to know, the truth is that the anti-Semitism in Germany today is not on the right side, very little on the right side, and very strongly on the left side, on the left and the radical left. So, from the Jewish perspective, from the person on the street, the man and woman on the street, the normal Jew, they have no problem with AfD, because what is AfD? AfD stands, from their perspective, against bringing Muslims, whatever it is, to the country. But be proud German, be proud of your culture.
But what about the anti-immigration policy? And as an example, the AfD really, focused on the fact that so many refugees were coming into Germany, no?
But from their point of view, you're talking about, from their point of view, from the Jewish point of view, they say, okay, what is the AfD about? It's about bringing over 1 million people undocumented, and unvetted. That is from their perspective. And the Muslims, from their perspective, don't like the Jews. So we are with the AfD. Because the AfD, for the most part, not all its part, is pro-Jews in Germany.
Interesting. So what is the AfD's stance on Israel?
The AfD stance on Israel is the stronger Israel deals with its enemies, the AfD is more pro-Israel from that perspective. They like it. They like the conservatives. They like Netanyahu.
Interesting.
They like the conservative Jews.
And you're seeing, though, these demonstrations all over Germany.
I interview almost all the leaders. We did it together. We interview the leaders of the AfD, the AfD, as we say it in German, from Frauke Petry, which is trying to make some moves today with AfD, from the head of the new German right, Gerd Kubitschek, from the head of Pegida, the ones who demonstrate against in Dresden, and from all other parts, they loved Israel.
What's interesting is that in these demonstrations that you're seeing come out against this party, we're hearing people say, no Nazis.
That's the Antifa, the anti-fascist, usually. It's like they are the ones who makes the biggest waves against the AfD. And from Jewish perspective, the Antifa is actually very pro-Palestine. So from a Jew perspective, a Jew says, why should I be with Antifa? They are against Israel.
Okay, so what about this concept of the party using the lying press?
But the press is lying. The truth is, I'm a member of the press, and I can tell you, as a member of the press, I always fight with my colleagues. We have been lying through and through all the time. Put it in very simple perspective. What the AfD says is what almost every American says. Almost every American. On the time of Obama, for 8 years, when Obama was president, America allowed 15,000 Syrians to come in to immigrate to the United States. Just 15,000. That's the reality. And AfD says those who are in real danger, we are okay with them coming. So I'm not saying that I'm pro-AfD. I'm just reporting to you what the men on the streets.
I think it's very interesting. And Isy, what is your take on this entire issue? What does this say about the future of democracy in the state of Germany?
Democracy is that everybody is free to express what they think. So it has nothing to do with democracy. There's a big segment of the German population who just don't want immigrants, but they are not allowed to say it because then they are afraid that the international community points the finger at them and said, oh, you're Nazis. So that's the biggest fear of the German, to be called Nazis.
And the truth is that if Frauke Petry remained the leader, you know, if they didn't have the AfD, didn't have all these
inner struggle,
inner fights between themselves and inner struggles between them, and if Frauke Petry remained the leader, most likely the AfD would have taken at least 25% of the votes.
All right, well, listen, we have run out of time, unfortunately. I think we could go on about this all day, but for those of our viewers who are interested in learning more about what is happening on the ground in Germany through the perspective of the Tenenboms, we have these two amazing new books. Well, this is a new book, Hello Refugees.
This is about the refugee issue.
Exactly, about the refugee issue that came out.
And interviews with the leaders of the AfD and the leaders of the extreme left and the left, from the politicians from the extreme right to the extreme left, all the whole circle.
And then, of course, I Sleep in Hitler's Room, which is a bestseller. And again, comes back to the very issue that we're speaking about. So thank you two so much for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
All right.
It's been a pleasure.